Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is a calm day here in the city of Pittsburgh in the Hazelwood neighborhood, and I welcome you to the beautiful Flowers Avenue. I am Olga George, Press Secretary for the city of Pittsburgh, and Mayor Ed Gainey. I thank you, media representatives, and all of our housing advocates for coming out today. As you may recall, last week we launched Keep Pittsburgh Home, an initiative aimed at creating a future where Pittsburghers can remain in their homes and neighborhoods can continue to thrive. This campaign focuses on protecting renters, supporting homeowners, and investing in public housing and regulating short-term rentals to ensure that every Pittsburgher has access to a safe and stable place to live. Today's press conference marks just the beginning of what's to come. The Keep Pittsburgh Home campaign has given us the opportunity to start assembling the full picture of our housing agenda. We're putting together key pieces that will prevent displacement and create a stable, sustainable community for all. One crucial part of this plan is our Land Bank initiative, which serves as a proactive strategy to combat displacement. With rising housing costs driven by speculative investors, the Land Bank ensures that vacant lots stay in community hands, securing them for future affordable housing, rather than letting them fall to prey to market forces. This is just one of the ways the city is fighting back. Local officials are working hand in hand to counter predatory real estate practices and invest in community-driven development. We're taking action and we're doing it together. Today, we're here to discuss what's working, what's next, and how we can continue to protect and strengthen our neighborhoods. Together, we can keep Pittsburgh home for all. At this point, I would like to introduce our first speaker, who is Ms. Sonia Tillman, Executive Director for the Hazelwood Initiative. Ms. Sonia?
Good morning, everyone. As Olga said, my name is Sonia Tillman. I'm the Executive Director of Hazelwood Initiative. For background, HI is a community-driven organization that is dedicated to preserving and developing affordable housing, investing in our business district, promoting environmental sustainability, and undergirded by outreach and engagement with our community members of Greater Hazelwood. For years now, our community has been undergoing a period of transformative growth. With public, private, and philanthropic investment flowing into Hazelwood, we're working alongside partners across all sectors to ensure that this progress aligns with our shared community goal of development without displacement. That means that we welcome the investment in our community as long as it does not come at the expense of existing long-term and low-income residents. In Greater Hazelwood and communities like ours across the city, the need to secure land for affordable housing has never been more urgent. Rising land values and speculative pressures are increasing the risk of displacement for low and moderate income residents. If we don't act now to interrupt that process and acquire vacant and blighted properties, the ability to develop affordable housing could slip beyond our reach. The development behind us is a powerful example of what's possible when we take proactive action. The land on which these homes were built was once publicly owned and tax delinquent. By working with the Pittsburgh Land Bank, we were able to acquire these properties in a matter of months, not years, which had been the previous practice. And that streamlined acquisition was pretty critical to us in securing the broader set of funding partners that included the Federal Home Loan Bank, First Commonwealth Bank, and the Pennsylvania Housing Finance Agency. Thanks to this collaboration, we transformed these vacant lots into affordable home ownership opportunities for local families, including a renter from Hazelwood. It's important to note here, too, that the buyers of these homes, and as with the others across the city, often qualify for deferred mortgage funds through the Urban Redevelopment Authority and the Housing Authority. And these funds help ensure that home ownership remains affordable both now and in the future. By securing land for community ownership and development, we ensure that Hazelwood and Pittsburgh as a whole remains a city where working families can afford not just to live, but thrive, and that all residents benefit from the investments made in the city. Thank you all for coming back out to Hazelwood and enjoying this project with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tillman. Now I would like to bring forward the Honorable Mayor Ed Gainey, who will speak about the holistic agenda regarding housing. Sir?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for being here today. I appreciate it. Good morning, Hazelwood.
Good morning.
Yeah, I like that. Let's do it again. Good morning, Hazelwood.
Good morning.
You know, it's good news that we're here today in front of these beautiful homes. We continue to share what we're doing to keep Pittsburgh home. You know, that's extremely important to me. And I want to thank everybody who's here today. You know, last week we launched a new effort. One, we wanted to make sure that we're protecting longtime residents to ensure families are not displaced because of rising costs. That's extremely important. We want to make sure that our residents are not displaced because of rising costs. We want to reinforce effective policies, policies that we know are working, and build on programs that have been successful, and roll out new solutions to make housing truly affordable for everybody. That's extremely important. Today we're highlighting Pittsburgh's Land Bank. I want to thank Sally. I didn't see her here yet, but Sally, okay. Sally, can you come up for a minute? Can y'all give Sally a round of applause for the work that she's done with the housing, with the Land Bank? Come on, now there we go. Which is Pittsburgh Land Bank is one of our most important tools that we have to ensure that people who built, stay, and live in this community can stay here. And it's also a valuable tool because it makes sure that our most vulnerable neighbors do not have to be displaced. That's critically important. What is our challenge? Let's talk about the challenges we have. Let's talk about corporate speculation. And it's getting harder for our families. Listen to the statistic. Between 2010 and 2021, the share of houses sold to corporate entities and real estate investors in Pittsburgh grew from 15.5 to 24.8. These are buyers scooping up homes below market price. They're scooping up homes below market price, giving home sellers less than their fair share, taking opportunities away from aspiring local home buyers, and destabilizing communities which we can't afford. We know from a recent article from PCRG, let's give it up for PCRG. I thought I seen Chris here. Chris, let's give Chris a hand for the work that he does with PCRG. We know from a recent PCRG study that the corporate buyers are acquiring properties at approximately 70% of average sales price using bulk purchases, tax sales, and legal loopholes to do these things. And we're not just talking about multifamily homes. We're also talking about single-family dwellings. This is the type of pressure that is crushing Pittsburgh families. And that's why our initiative, Keep Pittsburgh Home, is so important. We don't want to displace, we don't want to exclude, we want to include. We want everybody to play a part in making sure they have the ability to stay in their homes. So what's working? Let's talk about what's working. When we came into office, when my administration came in, we had not moved one property out of the land bank, 0 properties. Since we've retooled the land bank, with the help of Sally, we have moved 150 properties or in the process of moving those properties. Y'all should clap for that. Through the land bank and Keep Pittsburgh Home, we are slashing red tape to make it easier for community groups to reclaim and restore vacant properties. We're investing in vacant land transformation. That means we're stopping blight. We're preventing abandoned homes from falling into the wrong hands, and we're supporting community stewardship. Community organizations that believe in affordable housing, working with them to stabilize our neighborhoods. We should thank all the organizations such as Hazelwood Initiative, City of Bridges that's doing other projects right here in the community for their work to build affordable housing. Strengthening our policies is something that we want to do as well. We want to make sure that we're blocking predatory home buying and protecting renters from unfair eviction and skyrocketing rents. here's our commitment to you. Pittsburgh, here's our commitment to you. Through our land bank and broader Keep Pittsburgh Home efforts, we're continuing to secure land for affordable housing, protecting renters and homeowners, and building a city where working families can stay and thrive. This work is not done alone. We stand together with the commitment of our housing justice table. I want to thank Councilmember Bobby Wilson, Councilwoman Barbara Warwick for their leadership on this issue, and our community leaders for standing here with us today, fighting for everyday residents. Give them a hand. Your partnership and dedication shows that the city is united in this fight to keep our residents in their homes and to ensure that our neighborhoods remain places for people, not profit. So as we go forward, we will continue to make sure that the Land Bank is making a tremendous difference. It's already started. We want to thank the Hazelwood Initiative because they were able to take empty lots like the one behind us and build these beautiful homes. So Sonia, thank you for the commitment that the Hazelwood Initiative has shown. Let's continue to grow, and let's remember, when we keep Pittsburgh home, we keep our neighbors in our neighborhood, we keep profit out, and we make sure that we're building a city for all, because affordability is our ability to stabilize and keep our neighbors in the community in which they grew up in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Our next speaker is Bobby Wilson, council member from District 1 and Pittsburgh Land Bank Board Chair, who will speak on strengthening the Pittsburgh Land Bank. Sir?
All right. How's everyone doing? Thank you for having me. It's an honor to be here. I remember when we were here last, that was whenever we took a tour through these buildings, through these houses, and I have to say, whenever I see the signs taken off, the these real estate postings like this, that means that something's happening, or someone got a good deal. In another market, in a hot market, those signs go off these posts pretty quickly. And it's great to see that this is moving forward. These houses are going to have, people, families, community residents, and people who are not being displaced. They can find a home here. Now, you might be wondering, why am I here? Since I represent District 1. And I have to say, thank you to Councilwoman Barb Warwick for allowing me to cross a few rivers to get here. It's always a pleasure being in Hazelwood. There's a lot of this district that reminds me of my own, and that is vacant abandoned properties and houses that could be fixed up. We're all paying attention to what's behind us. And I'm going to wait for the environmental service truck to pass. Thank you for doing the good work.
That's right. Yes.
But so we're all focused right here behind us, these pretty beautiful houses on these vacant lots. But if we turn our heads and we turn the cameras this way, we can see what more can be done with the Pittsburgh Land Bank. And that's why I'm proud to be the chair of the Pittsburgh Land Bank, because I get an opportunity to be involved with the Mayor's office. Thank you for your work, making sure that this is working. The URA, Sushila, Monty Stanger, put your hand up. Appreciate you working. And then also Sally Stadelman, manager of the Land Bank. It's always a pleasure when it's a teamwork that makes things work. But I got to say a couple things about the Land Bank. I mentioned a few different partners here, and I mentioned what the Land Bank can do more across the street. And that's all going to happen because it's a multifaceted tool that the Land Bank is. The Land Bank is this tool that literally, like everyone goes to Home Depot, Lowe's, they get a tool. You can get that multi-tool. It's pretty small. But imagine if you could take the biggest battery, your car battery, and just put it into different tools. You got your Sawzall, you got your circular saw, you got all these different tools. That big battery can last forever. And that is the power of the Land Bank, that we have the ability. A lot of power is given by the state, but we have the ability to be a multifaceted tool. That battery is going to last us for a long time, and we need to make sure that it's funded for about 30 years from now. But we're doing a lot more than just this vacant property. We're doing home rehabs. You're going to see soon, we're going to go out to market in the Spring Garden neighborhood on High Street, where we did programs where we literally, maybe we patch a roof, we get it buyer ready, we clean out the house, we have a contract clean out the house, and then we're going to be able to sell that to a buyer. Could be a new couple, could be someone in the neighborhood already that wants to make sure that they're going to have a better home, a bigger home. They want to upscale to maybe a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom. Their family's going to grow, and there's going to be an opportunity for them to to invest more in their neighborhood, and that's going to be because of the land bank and the efforts that you see here. We're also doing things like saving historic properties. Even before we have a 3 tax and body agreement, we were already at the sheriff's sale making sure that we were saving the Teeny Harris house. So it's more than just what we're seeing here. There's so much more that can be done. A lot of farms that have existed on a rental. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the program that the city has, but basically it's on a yearly, annual basis. They have to rent from the city for $1. But now they have an opportunity to have that forever and own that, and continue to use that as a community garden for the neighbors, or a farm, so that neighborhood doesn't have to go through all the lack of grocery stores that would exist. So there's multiple opportunities, but we need to make sure that this is going to be scaled up. So I love that we're celebrating this, and what we need to do here is make this even bigger, and I know there's a big commitment to do that for the next 30 years. So I look forward to making sure that we continue to do this good work, continue to make sure that people can stay in our neighborhood, and continue to make sure that Pittsburgh is getting these properties back in their tax rolls, and that people are invested in home ownership in the city of Pittsburgh. And I'm proud to be standing here with all of you to make sure that this is working. So today's a good day. Let's keep moving forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilman Wilson. Next is Shushila Namani Stanger, the Urban Redevelopment Authority, Pittsburgh, URA, Executive Director, who will be speaking on expanding the impact of the land bank. Shushila?
Thank you, Olga. My name's Sushila Nimani Stanger. I'm the Executive Director of the URA. And first, I want to extend my thank you to Mayor Gainey, Councilman Wilson, Councilwoman Warwick, dedicated Land Bank board members, URA board members, and HOF board members for their support. Also, thank you to our nonprofit partner, Sonia, who leads the Hazelwood Initiative. And today is really important to thank our Land Bank champions, Sally Stadelman and ML Meyer. Please raise your hand. Thank you for being bold and leaning into your expertise that has allowed us to come together today. It is clear to everyone today that blight brings down neighborhoods, stifles people, and holds us back from reaching our full potential. As Mulu Baru used to say, he was a former URA executive director, these types of projects don't happen easily. The Land Bank was created 11 years ago in 2014, and in 2020, the URA integrated the Land Bank as an affiliate entity. But again, projects like this don't just happen because the tool, like the Land Bank, exists. We need qualified practitioners who know how to use the tool. Some of the qualified practitioners who got us here today include housing analysts, transaction specialists, project managers, and leadership, like Sally and ML. These practitioners know how to develop a vision to action strategy. But projects like this don't just happen because a tool and a practitioner is assigned. We need funding. So I want to thank the mayor, city council for funding sources like the American Rescue Plan funding, Housing Opportunity Fund, which was applied here, the Affordable Housing Bond, historic $30 million, first time ever, City of Pittsburgh Housing Bond, CDBG, CDBG and home funds also used here. That funding is essential for us to implement affordable housing projects like this. But projects don't happen with a tool, a practitioner, and funding. We need collective energy and political support, Between the URA, the Land Bank, our city, nonprofit partners, and private partners, we can activate vacant properties and live up to our full potential. Because decades of blight cannot be remediated quickly. We have to have sustained attention and a commitment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the council member whose district we are in, District 5, Councilmember Barb Warwick, who will be speaking on a unified housing vision. Councilman?
Thank you, everyone. So I just want to start off by thanking Mayor Gainey and Councilman Wilson for being here. I've been in this role as city council person for about 2 years, and I cannot tell you how meaningful it is to the folks in this community to have city leadership so focused on making sure that their neighborhood stays livable for the people who live here today. We have a major development going on in Hazelwood at the Hazelwood Green, and that development is going so well. We are seeing new industry, biotech, robotics, all of that coming to Hazelwood. But none of that matters if it is going to price out the folks who live here. So over the past year, we have seen in Pittsburgh all of these groups, from the mayor's office to the URA, to the Land Bank, to Hazelwood Initiative, City of Bridges, millions and millions of taxpayer dollars, ARPA money, the Housing Opportunity Fund, the housing bond that the city has taken out with the URA. All of this money is going towards making sure that Pittsburgh can stay affordable.
That's right, Barb.
The city of Pittsburgh has won 6 low-income housing tax credit deals. 12. Yeah. 12 and 2 funding cycles. So, and 2 of those are here in Hazelwood. One is on the Hazelwood Green and one is on 2nd Avenue. So I am just so grateful to all of the leadership and all of these efforts to making sure that this community can stay affordable for the people living here today. I represent neighborhoods like Greenfield, Hazelwood, and the 31st Ward. And I cannot tell you the number of families who I have met who say, you know, we lived in this neighborhood for generations, but now my kids live in Munhall or McKees Rocks, or other neighborhoods outside of the city, which break up those family bonds and make it difficult for our seniors and our young people to thrive and survive together in the communities that they call home. So the last thing I want to say on this, and this is incredibly important to me, there are lots of folks out there who are motivated by profit, lots of for-profit developers that will tell you that the market can't support affordable housing, that the market can't participate unless we pay for it, unless the taxpayer pays for it. We are paying for it. The taxpayer is paying for it. And so I am so grateful to Mayor Gainey and everyone working so hard to make sure that we are all participating, everyone from our affordable housing partners to our government partners and also our market rate development partners to make sure that Pittsburgh can remain a city that is affordable and accessible for all. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilperson Barbara Warwick. Next is calling for the action and the next steps, the Honorable Mayor Ed Gainey. Sir?
Let's go, Mayor. Give it up for our mayor. Our mayor.
I couldn't have said that no better than what Councilwoman Warwick just said. We have to keep Pittsburgh home. This initiative is all about how we stabilize our neighborhoods. And that's the reality. And the biggest part of that is our land bank. Our ability to take these vacant properties and turn them into homes just like this for people that live in this neighborhood Right now, the person that's purchasing this property right here is a Hazelwood neighbor.
Yes. That's right. Yes.
But we won't stop there. We're working on policy changes to stop predatory investors, including creating policies to protect renters because we know they need protected, to deal with short-term rental regulations, which also protect long-term residents at the risk of being outpriced in their own neighborhood,
Right.
strengthening programs to support home buyers, along with our county and state partners. We are acting on every level to deliver fairness and dignity to the residents of this city. Families should not have to be forced out while investors are buying up our property below value, renting them out and then selling them and making people in our neighborhood get displaced. We don't need it. We're here to stop it. Affordability is something that should be affordable to all people because housing is a human right.
That's right. That's right.
We need everyone in this fight, though. I'm so proud of the council people we have here, the neighborhood organizations, our community groups that are here, but we need everybody. We need everybody if we're going to rebuild our neighborhoods. We need everybody if we're going to repopulate our city. That's what it's all about. We have to be laser focused on keeping Pittsburgh home. That's the initiative. That's what we're working on. And let me tell you the difference. Most people talk about what they're going to do.
Come on now.
We're here to show you what we are doing to make sure that we stabilize our neighborhoods and keep Pittsburgh affordable for everybody. Thank you. I also want to mention one thing. I want to thank Congresswoman Lee for advancing the neighborhood. This is a bill she's sponsoring for advancing the Neighborhood Revitalization and Land Bank Act, which will provide critical resources to support land banks just like ours. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, just want to remind everyone that we have council members Bobby Wilson, as well as Barb Warwick here. We have advocate from housing advocates here, as well as Ms. Shushila Namani Stanger from the URA. So at this time, we'll take questions from the media. Any questions? Yes?
Could you elaborate a little bit on how specifically this initiative advances on or changes, updates the work that the land bank has already been doing?
Who would like to talk about the land bank?
Sally?
Sally? Okay.
Okay, sorry, what was the
Can you repeat the
question?
again?
Hello, Sally Stadelman, manager of the Pittsburgh Land Bank.
Thank you, Sally. I was just asking if you could elaborate a little bit on how this Keep Pittsburgh Home initiative advances or updates the work that the land bank has already been doing.
Can I do? Yeah, come here, JP.
So
Come
it's a combination of factors. So a lot of what we talked about here today, a lot of the examples we cited are proof of how the land bank is able and is already having a positive effect, right? The combination of efforts we're looking at here are the ways in which the URA's property stabilization funding can layer with the land bank, its ability to clear title to property and put it back into productive hands. So that's how we can move more properties. I'll borrow Councilman Wilson's sort of example. Properties that are in a state of disrepair, how we can stabilize them and then move them into the land bank's process. That's one example. As the mayor mentioned, we're working closely with Congresswoman Lee on her legislation that the mayor referenced, and which was previously advanced in Washington by Senator Casey, to put additional resources and federal tools in the hands of land banks to make them more, give them broader ability to, sorry.
Uh-oh, they're coming for us.
Yes. And then finally, as part of the 2025 budget and ongoing through the 5-year operating plan, we're committing new resources to continue to grow the land bank's capacity. to take on more properties and more projects like these. Sure.
And maybe just to and clarify a little bit exactly, so the land bank, the tools we bring to the table is we have the ability to wipe away delinquent taxes, right? And so lots of properties are inaccessible because of those longstanding tax delinquencies. We have the ability to access the property, stabilize the property, and allow our buyers to have access to do their necessary testing for development or to prepare to do a rehab project as well while it's in the land bank's inventory.
Sure. Have you done already? How many houses have you put into the land bank and developed already?
Sales-wise, we've completed about 16. We just did another 6 last week, so I think we're a little over 20. I have 64 properties in my inventory. Another 33 are about to transfer in the next week or two.
All right. Miss Charlie?
How many finished homes like these do you expect to be able to create for these programs in the next several years?
Oh, let's see if I can pull. Let me.
Or not like these, just any housing units.
Out of what's in our inventory right now, so I think we had. Oh gosh, let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. So we had, I want to say it's about 6 projects that were awarded Federal Home Loan Bank grants, and that's a majority of the property we're bringing in right now. And so, you know what, I hate to say a number, I have to look at my spreadsheet, and I can read those off to you. So if you give me a minute, I can provide that information. Yeah.
I will just add, thank you.
Yeah.
In addition, the URA is working directly with the land bank on a property stabilization effort funded through ARPA funding. And really what we've done is we've been able to identify structures in really highly distressed neighborhoods, and we've utilized $3.5 million to stabilize over 17 structures throughout the city. Unfortunately, some of the structures we identified did have to be demolished, but we are working directly with the land bank on the transactions from the URA to the land bank to the end user to simplify that transactional process.
I don't know who else wants to.
So a person, I know there's organizations that's buying like properties in bulk out here. And they're buying them, but they're sitting on them.
Step up to the mic. Tell us what you're thinking. Thank you.
Now my name is Sandra Cole, and I'm a executive director out here for a nonprofit organization called Poor Law. But my question is, once an organization buy all these properties, they just sit instead of fixing them up. So how long are they able to sit before they fix them up? Because it's like they're holding them, but they're just holding them and they're not fixing them up.
Thank you, Ms. Sandra. So what you're referring to there is exactly one of the things that the mayor was talking about in his remarks, which is the wholesalers, right? These are for-profit entities that are purchasing homes in large numbers. And then are in some cases moving on them very quickly, and that's creating a lot of housing pressure in neighborhoods. Other places, they're waiting, right, for that opportunity. And the unfortunate reality is, once those types of entities have purchased a property, as long as they remain current on the taxes and they do the bare minimum to keep the property from being cited for building code violations, there's nothing that we can do, which is exactly why what we're talking about today is getting those types of properties into the hands of agencies like the Land Bank, the URA, and others that won't do exactly that, or neighborhood community development partners. That's also why we're looking at regulations, which we'll be announcing at a future event, around some of the end uses of those properties to reduce the incentive to buy them up for that purpose. So, Councilman?
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add to the process of that, how Land Bank is able to avoid speculators and third-party buyers. And the way that happens is, that's the unique powers of Land Bank, is that we don't have to sell to the highest bidder. The decisions are based on the board that is, made up of elected officials people that are appointed by the mayor. So these are individuals that are, qualified to understand the needs of the neighborhood, and we work with the staff at the land bank to make sure that they are going to the neighborhood to see what those needs are. And so then all that, becomes the story of each vote. So the story of each vote is that we are putting together, whether it is working with the buyer, making sure that they are someone that's, going to invest in the property, fix it up quickly in a timely manner. That technical aspect of it is a deed restriction. So we could pull back that property if we do sell it to someone and they're not doing the work. Right. So that is the important tool that the land bank is, and that is the process that we go through. And what's different about the land bank than whenever the city can sell a property. City sells a property to the highest bidder. Land bank, we can make sure that we're selling to someone local, and we want to keep it that way. Right. All right?
Right, and not only that, this is why I said before, this is a call to action. We understand that some of those things still exist right now. But that's why we're calling on community leaders, community organizations, elected officials to be able to stand with us. It's going to take everybody to be able to reverse this trend. And so that's why, again, it's another call to action. You heard what Ms. Cole said. We have to. We don't want people just getting properties and holding them. And you heard what Councilman Wilson said. It's not about just who's going to the highest bidder, but it's going about for the best use, taking public land and making it good for public good. And as long as we continue to do that and we have the support of the community and we're all working together to stabilize these neighborhoods, those type of things will change. And that's when you'll see a difference in the trend.
Yes?
So overnight, we saw an example of what happens to derelict and vacant properties. A house in Knoxville collapsed, posing a danger to neighboring buildings. This is a derelict building that's in private hands. The neighbors say that they called 311 multiple times with complaints that this house was dangerous, but nothing was done. Is the city looking at 311 complaints? Is the city looking at what the dangers of these derelict buildings are? What's being done to address buildings that are still in private hands?
Okay, one of the things I want to make sure that clarify some things, and then the other information I'll have to check in regarding to the 311, because I'm not sure if any 311 calls were made, so we had to check on that. But permit licensing and inspection was called out, and the property was at 218 Moore Street in Knoxville early this morning because of a portion of the rear house collapsing. Now that building was already condemned, and we currently flagged it as a dead end property. We are sending, I have to go, when I go back I'll find out for sure, but an inspector was going to the site to document the daylight conditions, and based on the findings we will assess whether any additional actions are necessary, including potentially directing the owner of the property if they need to do demolition on that. So in regarding to the 311 aspect of that, however, I will have to check on that. Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions? Yes.
How many of these three houses have actually been sold, and what was the sale price?
Sonia?
Sorry, say again, please.
How many of the houses have been sold?
And what was the sale price?
All of them are under agreement. 2 were closed to the final buyer a week and a half-ish ago, and this one is in the process of closing. And the sale price was $205,000. The prices to the borrower, the actual price to the borrower is partially dependent on what kind of subsidy they were able to get. So, but the sales price was $205,000. Sure.
Any other? Okay. Yes, Charlie.
Mayor Gainey, have you set a goal for how much housing will be created through these programs?
Have we set a goal? We haven't set an exact goal. We want to see increase and we want to see progress as anything that we do. And so the first thing is to be able to talk about how many we can move, how many we can get developed. And I think that's why when you heard us talk about, developers that's holding properties, we don't want that to happen. But to give you an accurate count right now, that would be premature.
Well, thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you seeing the home. Those of you who came a little bit late and was not able to tour the inside of this lovely home that's on the contract, you can maybe be able to do so. But thank you. Have a good day.